What's going on, YouTube? Nick here again, as always, to talk about The Righteous Gemstones, Episode 5, entitled Interlude 2. There will be spoilers in case you haven't watched this episode yet, but if you're watching this video by chance, you've probably watched the episode. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right in. So this was a flashback episode, and at first I wasn't too certain to see what we'd see, but of course, again, this series does have pretty damn good writing as far as the characters go and the plot goes. And this season has been a lot better than the first season, of course. But it kind of tends to be the case. Not always, but usually. The highlights, the pivotal moments of this season and this episode here really revolves around Dr. Eli Gemstone. And we see Granddaddy Roy, and it being his manor, of course, that everyone's living at. And his granddaddy is kind of losing it a little bit, just because he's kind of old. And but the interesting point here is we see Glendon Marsh visit Eli over some fried chicken, and Glendon knows that Eli has some debt issues, some money issues, and he offers to help in a very money laundering way. It's like, I'll give you $3 million, and you get $1 million back, sort of thing. And it obviously, Eli thought about it and he decides not to do it. Of course, this episode is where we also we get the introduction of Martin as well. So which is again kind of tying in past remarks, and it's like the interesting thing too with Martin. He's like sitting in Eli's chair a little bit, and refers to him as Dr. Gemstone. But by the end of the episode, Eli says, "Just call me Eli," because of what they went through, and which we'll get to in just a moment. The interesting point here too with this storyline is, Granddaddy Roy has this moment with Amy Lee where he kind of flips out a little bit, and he says, keep Eli away from that man, and sure enough, at the end of the episode, happened to be on Christmas night, when Martin rolls up to the driveway, and Glendon is leaned back in the seat, but holds them at gunpoint. And while they're trying to calm down the situation, we might get one of the best lines in the entire episode when we see Granddaddy Roy come around and goes, "We going hunting, Eli," and just blasts him right in the chest, and he goes flying back. I was like, yo, what? Crazy. Loved that moment. Just, again, one of those holy shit things that tends to happen in this episode, or in this season, this series for that matter. And it was crazy. So they got to do something with the body, and Granddaddy Roy will eventually forget, and that secret will die with him. So the only two people who really know about it are Martin and Eli. And this is where we get the connection, which, again, this flashback episode was meant something, right? As we can see, they go to the Righteous Park, which is soon to be built in 1994, and then they bury him under cement, or in cement, right by the Exodus roller coaster. And that makes sense in the previous episode, where we see Eli riding the Exodus, and we see Eli on the Exodus again this episode, and when he goes back to the present day, and just seeing John Goodman with this stern, sort of blank face, just going on the roller coaster, was great. I love John Goodman. Who? How can you not like John Goodman? First of all, he's just great in the show. On top of that, but again, interesting things here, because at the end we see, simultaneously as Eli's on the Exodus roller coaster, we see Junior looking at old photos, which seems to be in some sort of office or locker room, and he's holding a gun in his hand. I was saying Gand. He's holding a gun in his hand, and then he just goes pow pow. So again, we know that Junior said, well, if you're not my friend, then you're my enemy. So we'll see how the next episode goes. But that whole storyline was sort of great to see in development. And I also have to say, this episode, the actor who plays a younger version of Danny McBride, the younger Jesse, Flashback Jesse, is so damn good. What a spot on match, I have to say. If you disagree, you disagree, but damn, he did a great job acting like a young Danny McBride or Jesse Gemstone in this episode. Bravo to that young man. The other interesting point here too is the announcement of the arena that Dr. Eli Gemstone announces, and basically, had Amy Lee a little shook. So I wonder if, she kind of put the pieces together. I don't know if we'll get any more flashbacks because we only have 3 episodes remaining, but it's possible that information comes out one way or another. But it's interesting to see that she didn't really agree with it, and she was sort of okay with where they were at that time, just maybe feeling grateful, blessed to have what they have. But, look, Eli had more visions to expand, and again, kind of coming upon money can kind of do that to a person or a group. So very interesting to see all that develop as well. And of course, we can't forget for Baby Billy, Uncle Baby Billy, when he lies to his family, says that Gloria left him. But we know the truth, that he was the one who left his family at the pet store in the mall. Also, kind of a fun fact, he insults Kelvin's hair when he sleeping over, of course, right, and staying at the Gemstones house. And he says like he's using, he needs to use, he has like a shitty hairstyle essentially, right? And that's why he uses so much mousse product to have like that sort of like, I don't know, that hairstyle where it just kind of goes up. I don't know what you call that hairstyle per se, but we know that Kelvin styles his hair because of Uncle Baby Billy. Hilarious. And Billy says that he won't miss his wife and his son, but he kind of has this look before he goes to sleep, I guess, and on the top bunk in the kids' room, and it looks like he does, and it's almost like that guilt. And I think even up to that point, wondering why he did that, because he does the same thing again, right? They even talk about it. He goes, is Billy coming back? Probably not, but what's his excuse this time? And we do hear some sort of explanation, of course, again, on Christmas Day. Amy Lee just says, I only want one present from you, baby Billy. The truth. And because she called Gloria, and she's the one that spills the beans. I guess initially spills the beans, and then or maybe it makes Billy spill the beans, rather. I should say that instead. And he says that he left because he felt like he couldn't provide for them. And of course, Eli's like, all you had to do was ask. I mean, obviously, could have asked before this happened, right? So it's like, who knows if there's any going back at this point. But that's also sort of how Billy initially gets into the worship and church side of things, because sort of like this opportunity that Eli presents him, and then he, we see him singing alongside Amy Lee. So, again, but maybe that was genuine. Maybe that was true. Again, I think, Walton Goggins is a, pretty damn good actor. And I think for the sake of his character, Baby Billy, maybe it is true. It certainly doesn't make it right what he did, because it's a very, kind of a shitty thing to do, to leave your family like that. And of course he does it again. So, and Amy Lee's not here to call him out on his bullshit. And obviously, like, the kids aren't going to do that. Don't know if, well, I guess Judy kind of did. She was just like she kind of makes fun of her, saying like, you dumb hillbilly or something like that, right? But again, who knows if Baby Billy will come back this season. I hope so. Maybe he goes off to find himself and then he comes back, but we'll see. So overall, pretty good episode. I think for a flashback that got to fill in some gaps there, to add to the story, add to the plot, add to the character developments, add to the backstory, for characters and especially Eli Gemstone and Junior, because that's really the main focus of this season. So kudos to the writing, and I guess I'll maybe throw maybe an 8 out of 10, which I think is pretty consistent for this season, of course. So let me know what your comments are. Did you like this flashback? Did you like the story that was told? Did you like the character development? And anything else, or did you hate it and you thought it was complete shit? So just leave some comments. Let me know. And until next time, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Cheers.